Morning, folks. Not long been awake. I watched the Joshua's comeback fight last night, beating Jermaine Franklin. He got the win, undisputed decision. He boxed quite nicely at times. It did become a bit huggy at times, I found, and they were both at fault. You know, it wasn't just, I'm not saying it was just Joshua. Franklin, especially in the later rounds from sort of like the 10th onwards, struck me as very much in survival mode. So it did get a bit huggy and a little bit negative. Excuse me. But Joshua was in a bit of a strange situation anyway going into this fight, because it's gone the decision against Jermaine Franklin, who in my opinion he's a solid journeyman heavyweight. But because it's gone the distance, a lot of people I've seen commenting and online and various things, saying that Joshua's bum, he's finished, couldn't even take the guy out, what was that, blah blah blah. But if he'd gone in there and blitzed him in a couple of rounds, people would be saying, well, who cares, Franklin's bum. So he was on a no-win, really, in the eyes of the public. No matter what, he's gone the distance. Oh well, he's shot. He's not as good as he was. If he'd have taken him out, oh well, so what? It's a bum. So that was it. When they announced who he was fighting, I did actually say to myself it was a bit of a strange choice of opponent, purely because he's not going to get any credit either way. So I personally thought he was. When I seen him at the weigh-in, he was heavier than he usually is. I thought this means Joshua's just going to march in there and go for the knockout. He's going to try and make that phrase that's been coming up the past few weeks, make the statement. I thought, yeah, he's going to probably take a couple of rounds to warm into it, and then by the 3 or 4 he'll probably knock him out or go for the knockout. And he did hurt Franklin a couple of times. He shook him, especially with the uppercuts. But I don't know, he didn't really pull the trigger, in my opinion. But then again, he didn't need to. He seemed quite content to get the points victory. And, yeah. I mean, take nothing away from Jermaine Franklin. He's got a good chin. And he took those punches. He took a lot of heavy shots, those big right hands, the uppercuts. And, he was still standing at the end. It was a very clear winner in Joshua. I don't know. I was impressed in some ways because he boxed well, and he seems, it's a confidence building fight. I mean, he's coming off back-to-back losses to Alexander Usyk, who's a master boxer. So, it's a confidence building thing. He needs to get his confidence back if he's going to fight at the top level in the heavyweight division. Do I think he'll ever regain a world title? Well, judging by the two who have got the belts, no. Fury beat him easily, I think, in my opinion. And Usyk's already beaten him twice. So, that answers that. Obviously, Dubois has the WBA regular title, which will be unified with the super title with Usyk soon. So, that ain't going to happen. Do I think he beat Dubois? It's just as a hypothetical. If Joshua fought Dubois next, obviously I think he would. But I can't personally see Anthony Joshua ever getting his hands on a belt, a world title belt, ever again. I mean, there was the call out of Fury at the end. I think he needs to stay away from Fury at the moment. I know it's a big money fight, and I understand why they want it. Because although Joshua's lost 3 times, they would sell tickets, especially if they held it in this country. It would be a big fight, and everyone would watch it. Like me standing here now, I would say if Fury and Joshua fought, Fury'd win, easy. I don't think he'd necessarily knock him out. Probably would, but either way, whether it went decision or a knockout, it'd be easy work. Personally, I think, for Fury. So I could understand that fight being made, and I can understand them wanting that fight being made. Whether or not it will happen, who the hell knows? But we'll see. But obviously, apart from that, I do like Joshua. I just don't. I think psychologically he's shot. I don't think physically he is. I think psychologically he's shot. I think the Ruiz fight, the first one, did a lot of damage to his ego, in my opinion. And then obviously the two losses to Usyk. Yeah, I think and obviously the big meltdown he had at the last year when he lost the second fight to Usyk, when he just freaked out in the ring and went a bit crazy. Notice there was a little bit of afters at this one between he and Franklin. Joshua sort of tapped him on the back of the head after when the final bell went, and Franklin didn't react very well, and it all got a bit heated, and security dived in. And I thought, see, this doesn't help Joshua's image because there's a lot of people out there who really dislike him for various reasons. I'm on the fence. I don't dislike him. I don't like him particularly. It's not. I don't care. He's entertaining to watch, and he's been very good for British boxing. But behaviour like that, I think, this is why people think you're a dick. But there you go. It's entertaining. It was entertaining. So, but I personally would like to see him rematch Dillian White. Actually, I think that would be a good sort of cash out fight for him. I mean, Dillian White's, in my opinion, he's shot. I think the knockout loss to Fury. Yeah, he's pretty much done, I think, in my opinion. And obviously he struggled with Franklin last year. And a lot of people thought that White should have lost that one, but he got the decision. So, but I think that would be the road if I was Eddie Hearn. That'd be the road I'd go down. Is put White and Joshua in for one last cash out, and then see what comes. I mean, he's still a draw. He's still popular. I mean, I know they were struggling to sell tickets to that fight, but I think people just don't know what to make of it anymore, really, and they didn't know what to expect from Joshua because obviously the two losses to Usyk, I think that damaged his psyche, his reputation. Even casual boxing fans who don't follow it, they'll look and just think, oh well, he's lost a couple of times. And obviously, so much is put on wins and losses these days. I mean, obviously they've always been important, but fighters get written off if they lose a few fights. Well, you're shite. Whereas years ago, you could dust yourself off, have a few more fights, and come back. I'm talking a long time ago. Didn't necessarily mean you were finished. I mean, a lot of the greats from a long time ago, Jake LaMotta, Sugar Ray Robinson had plenty of losses on his record. Muhammad Ali had 5 losses. Okay, most of them were towards the end. Not everybody loses, obviously, but it doesn't. In my opinion, a loss doesn't mean that you're shit. All kinds of factors can go into it: personal problems, injuries. It's just levels sometimes. I mean, look at Canelo Alvarez when he lost to Floyd Mayweather. He was only a young pup, really. So, and he was schooled by the old master. Did it mean he's shit? Of course it doesn't. He lost to Dimitri Bivol last year. Bivol was just a better fighter. Does it mean Canelo's shit? No, of course it doesn't. It's just one of those things. So, be interested to see what happens. Right, folks, enjoy your Sunday, and I'll speak to you soon.